Hi, it's Julia Ray, and this is A Deeper Look. I believe the most important stories are the ones deep within us. The stories that make us feel alone, yet connect us when we're brave enough to tell them. Tune in every Wednesday to dive into the deep end together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Deeper Look. I'm Julia Ray, and my guest today is someone I've gotten to know over the years and have been blown away by not only her tenacity, but her execution as a female founder and entrepreneur and mother of four little ones. I am so excited to have Marguerite Adzick with me, founder of Addison Bay. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Julia. How long have we known each other? Like 20 years?
It feels that
I,
long, but
I, I
I was
don't
at.
know how long. It feels that long. So long. I mean, I met you back in my Lily Pulitzer days. I still remember
Yeah.
the first time meeting you at a CHOP event, and you had your
Yes.
crown on and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is obviously stunning. But you were just the sweetest, and everyone was attracting to you in the room. So I will never forget that first meeting with you. And I just like always look back on that with such fond memories.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of that day too. I guess that was about 10 years ago now. And I was so drawn to you then. And it was of no surprise to me when you started your own company. Can you walk us through just the origination of that idea and where it came from for you for Addison Bay? And then I'd love to hear how you actually went from idea to execution.
Yes. Oh my gosh, all the things we can dive right in. So I launched Addison Bay in 2018, and we design and produce elevated activewear. So our mission is to offer the modern wardrobe for the modern woman. So we want to design and produce polished activewear pieces that can be worn from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., basically dressing all girls on the go, all amazing multitasking women, which is all women. We're the best multitaskers, and really we just want to dress women for all parts of her day, whether she's being super active, relaxing a little bit more on the move. She's living a very active lifestyle, but she wants to look polished. She wants to look put together. And I see it at school drop off every day with my kiddos, and she really wants to look good and feel good about herself. And those are kind of all the core principles of Addison Bay. So I started the company back in 2018. Before I started the company, in my previous life, I was a college athlete at the University of Virginia. So I played lacrosse at UVA, and definitely a lot of that my active background is a huge piece of the company and who I am as a leader and a founder today. And then after graduating from UVA, I moved back to Philadelphia, where I'm from, and I started working at Lily Pulitzer's headquarters, which is how I found my way to meet you, which is so fun. Such a fun worlds colliding moment. And I spent 7 years at Lily Pulitzer on the marketing team. I absolutely loved my time there. I love all the people there still today. I love all the friends I made there. And I got the entrepreneurial itch, as some people say. And it was kind of interesting timing. I just gotten pregnant with my daughter, who's now 6. She just turned 6. And I had been thinking about the idea for a while. Also took me a while to get pregnant through some, fertility rounds. And by the time I finally got pregnant, I hit that like 12, 14 week mark. I'm like, yes, okay, I'm feeling good, like feeling really good about this pregnancy. This is the perfect time to start a business. I'm going to write a business plan, pitch the idea to a small friends and family round, raise a bit of capital to get the company off the ground. And everyone was kind of looking at me like, huh? What do you mean? This is the craziest timing, but it just made sense to me. So at 6 months pregnant, I resigned from Lily Pulitzer, which I loved it there so much. Moved into our office slash warehouse, which you've been in. And I had my big belly, stars in my eyes. There really was no looking back at that moment. I dove in head first. And transactionally, we launched the company when my daughter was 3 months old. So September of 2018, we were off to the races. Fast forward to today, we've seen some incredible growth professionally. And personally, I now have 4 children. I mean, I just feel like the luckiest, and I'm incredibly grateful for this amazing journey.
I mean, it truly is an incredible journey. So congratulations on all of your incredible success. No one is more deserving than you and your whole Addison Bay team. I would love to know if like getting pregnant and having your baby girl in your belly, was it all like an inspiration to actually just finally go for this dream of yours? Was there any like moment where you thought of that like being an example for your little girl?
My gosh, yes. I think about my daughter all of the time. I think about my three sons too. By the way, I feel like I leave them out in this storytelling a lot, but Annie and I did this together. Like I would have never started the company without her, without getting pregnant with her, meaning I was so focused on starting a family and getting pregnant, and I got pregnant with her. It was the greatest thing ever. And I would have never started without getting pregnant. Do transactionally launching the company when she was 3 months old. She was this teeny tiny little thing at my launch party. And I look back on those photos, I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder people thought I was crazy launching this business after having a baby. So there are so many fun, cool early moments. And then now looking at my 6-year old, she loves Addison Bay. She loves the company. She loves the people I work with. She loves the office. She goes by the store. She said, that's my mom's store. She sees people on the street wearing Addison Bay, and she said, that's my mom's company. And like just hearing that, I know it's so genuine because six-year olds are as genuine as it gets. They tell you what they're thinking. They shoot you straight. And I see it, and I just feel like I am leading by example. I'm not like, shouting from the rooftops of, how to do certain things, but I'm just leading by example in the way that I know how to lead. And I see her picking up little things here and there, and it is very, very, very cool. And listen, she doesn't need to start a company someday, but she does need to know that she can do whatever she wants in this world. Whatever she wants to do, she can do it, and I fully have her back. And by the way, again, this goes for my three sons too. I'm raising three boys with a very strong mother, so it goes for all four of my kids, but especially my daughter. I really look at her, and I just want her to know that she can go for it when and if she's ready.
Setting the perfect example. I also have to imagine, because you mentioned your success as a D1 athlete at UVA, that came in handy and had to have come in handy when you decided to give this a go because of the discipline that requires to be a D1 athlete. But I want to know, did you ever dream about starting your own company back then? Like, was this ever something you imagined for yourself, or did this really come about organically for you?
It definitely came about organically. So I wasn't the kid in school that was like, I'm going to start my own company someday. I didn't even, I don't think I knew what an entrepreneur was, or like that was a job title or job description. So no, I never thought that I would be an entrepreneur. I actually think I'm a little bit more risk averse too. So entrepreneurs are basically like the most risky. And so again, like all signs pointing to me not starting my own company someday. But I think definitely sports helped along the way. That was a huge piece. It helped me in terms of being a solid leader, specifically in the entrepreneurial space. I think also the entrepreneurial roller coaster is so real. So like the highs are so high, and the lows are the lowest of the low. There's no low like lower. It's really, really difficult. And I think back a lot to my days playing sports, and the highs or those wins, those huge wins, those games that we won, in overtime, nothing felt better. There was no better feeling. But the lows were very isolating and very difficult. And it really helped me build, some really thick skin, and taught me a lot about resiliency. And I didn't know that it would lead me to this entrepreneurial journey, but I've made my way there. I also have to mention I have the most supportive family in the whole world. I was raised by parents that we had 4 kids in our family, 2 boys and 2 girls, and my sister and I were raised the same exact way as my brothers. We were all trained and raised that we could do whatever we wanted in this world, whatever we wanted. We just needed to work our butts off. That was the only thing that we had to do. We had to put in the hard work if we wanted to go for it. Otherwise, we could do it, whatever. If we wanted to go work in the circus, we could do it. But the training from my parents was always that you have to try 110% every single time. So I think I would be remiss without saying, like, I was given the keys to the castle because I was raised by such incredible people that told me I could go for it someday.
I love that. And I wish that for every child and adult to have that kind of support system and that kind of fierce belief, because I think we all need and deserve that when we're chasing after a dream. You know, you mentioned something that my fiance and I talk about a lot because Matt is an entrepreneur himself. And we often joke that, like, my career path as a creative in the entertainment industry, it's like even entrepreneurship, times 100. It's just like everyone's dog eat dog world out here. But I
1,000%.
think, yeah, like I think there is this, you kind of touched on it as you were just talking, but I'd love to dive into it deeper, how you balance celebrating the wins versus taking the losses to heart, because it is such a roller coaster and you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. And I think there has to be some kind of way to navigate that. Like, how have you learned through the process of just like diving in? I would love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really challenging. The losses hurt, and I do take them personally sometimes. They really do hurt. I've gotten better at it. Like, I really, with time, I've gotten a lot better with it. And so I think, time and working, flexing that muscle and getting, that thicker skin, it really does help. I think for me, I say this word all the time, and I'll probably say it 12 times, but I always have the blinders on, like near 99% of the time. I really have the blinders on. And that means, like, I am just so focused on myself, my company's vision, so focused on what we're doing. And I say the word blinders to my team all the time too, because it's really difficult in this social media world to look around and be like, oh gosh, this company is crushing it. Like, they must be so profitable. They have the coolest collaboration ever. They're doing this, that, and the other. Did you see that event? Put the blinders on. Focus on what we're doing. Focus on our events, our collabs, our growth, our profitability. And it, one, clears up a lot of headspace, and two, it just helps you stay focused on yourself and your vision. And at the end of the day, like, I really do believe in myself. It sounds so corny. I do believe in myself. I believe in the company's vision so much, and I believe in the people I work with so much. I love this company. So at the end of the day, I can have those low moments. I can, take the losses. But when I wake up the next morning, I'm like, all right, let's freaking go. Let's go do this. And so I've built that resiliency. I've built that, like, thick skin, and it's helped, but it's also taken a little bit of time. So it's been a journey.
I feel so simpatico with you because I think we both have this like joy de vivre for life and everything, but we also probably are sensitive souls. Like, I take the losses personally too, even though you just can't, because you
How
do
can
have
you
to get
not?
up the next
How
day.
can you
Yeah,
not?
it's hard. It's so hard. But I love that advice about having the blinders on, especially in today's distraction-filled world with social media. I think that is like such prime advice. So thank you for sharing that, because I think that we all can learn to do that, even if we're not an entrepreneur, because social media can be so toxic in that way of comparison. So I love that you shared that. We touched on this a little bit, and you did talk about your three boys, but you started AV while 6 months pregnant, which is just, it is mind boggling to me. How do you get it all done? Because you do have four little ones and it looks like so much fun. I know it's the highlight reel on Instagram, but is there such a thing as balance, and how do you kind of strike your balance, with air quotes?
Right. No, I mean, I think there can be a semblance of balance, but for me right now, it does not really exist. And, like, I'm just shooting you straight. Like, I'm not trying to be like,
Please do.
everything's rainbows and butterflies. Like, this is the real deal. Like, I have four kids, 6 and under. When I had my youngest, my oldest was still 5. Um, and the company is about 6 years old almost. And it's growing very quickly. I'm in the office 5 days a week. I'm also a very, very present mother. I absolutely adore my children more than anything. I also love my husband so much. So there's like a lot going on right now, and the balance kind of just doesn't exist right now. And I think that's okay. Like I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to create said balance. And I've decided this is just the phase of my life. And I'm loving every single second. I love having a big family. I love when I walk in the door, my kiddos come rushing to the door to see me. There's really no better feeling. I love working in an awesome company with incredible people. So my life feels very, very fulfilled right now. I'm also very good at being busy and juggling a lot of different things, which is definitely a positive. Um, the negative is I don't have much or any me time. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with missing out on a few things or not having that me time. That will come later in life. This is a phase of life. And, I think sometimes I feel a little spread thin or exhausted. I'll just shoot you straight. I'm exhausted a lot. But I'm really feeling so fulfilled in both of my worlds at home and at work that it just keeps me going. It keeps me energized. And that's kind of the phase of my life right now. Again, in 10, 20, 30 years, I'll have a lot more me time and I'll be wishing for these days. So I'm kind of trying to embrace it all right now, and balance is not really existing right now, but I'm okay with that.
I love the honesty. I think, I read something somewhere, I think in a book, and I can't recall what it was. I'll try to find it for the show notes, but something about seasons of life. And I feel like that's exactly what you're talking about. This is the season that you're in, and seasons change. And it sounds like you live with this kind of great gratitude just for what you're doing, and that kind of guides you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like because you're so fulfilled in all the buckets of your life, you're able to deal with the exhaustion and deal with the less me time because you're actually just focused on staying so grateful for what you do have. And I think that's also a lesson to learn.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm incredibly grateful. Like when I come home and I have a not so great day at work, I look at my four kids who are healthy kids. I mean, I'm the luckiest person on the planet. Like, I know that's just like a small thing, but like it is such a huge thing when I see my little chickens running towards me as I'm walking in the door. Again, it's the greatest feeling. And it also puts things in perspective. If I had a tough day at work and I was dealing with a factory issue, and then I'm looking at these healthy, happy kids with huge smiling faces running up to greet me, it puts a lot in perspective, and it makes me, understand and remember what I'm grateful for and thankful for. So yeah.
Such a great reminder for all of us to kind of check ourselves and do the same because it's easy to get caught up in those like rough
Totally.
days. It's totally, I've been there, but it's a good reminder to stay present and shift perspective. You're right. What have been the biggest takeaways you've learned on this journey with Addison Bay? And I guess, on one level about yourself, like what have you learned about yourself? And then what have you learned about running a business?
Oh my gosh. So I've learned so much. I think it's also interesting because I'm a solo founder. So there's a lot of co-founder companies, and sometimes I wish for that because I really would like to share the burden with another person sometimes. But I've had to do so much self-reflection being a solo founder. So it's actually been an amazing experience and really good professionally and personally for me. I've learned, I think you can tell just by the way I talk, and me personally, I am extremely optimistic. I used to say I'm so glass half full, and I really am positive. Like I have decided I am glass full. Like there is not any room at the top. I am as full can be. I just feel like optimism has been such a game changer for me. I really have a muscle in my brain that I can just make any situation kind of look more optimistic than it actually is. And whether that's naivete or not living in reality, I think it's such a good thing because there's so many negatives. There's so many lows. You talk to your husband, and also the entertainment industry, there's so many lows. But I think having that optimistic outlook on it really, really helps change perspective. And it also helps with corporate culture. If I'm a negative Nancy and I'm like, oh, this stinks. Oh, it's raining out. Oh, it's Monday. Then isn't the attitude going to kind of rub off on everybody else in the room? So I always say attitude is everything. It's one of our core values, and it starts from the top me. And that optimistic energy really does infiltrate the room. And it really, our corporate culture has never been stronger. So it's something I really focus on, and what I've learned about myself and what I actually do like about myself. So I love that. So funny saying that. And then I think one other thing I've learned, and I'm more entrepreneurial. Our sixth core value is enjoy the ride, work smart, and have fun. And there were a couple years where we were working smart and we were having fun, but I kind of wasn't enjoying the ride because I was so stressed. And listen, we were in survival mode. We dealt with COVID as a very young company. I was having babies, all the things. You can say all the layers. But more recently, I've been focused on, yes, I care about the top line. Yes, I care about the bottom line. But I care that we are enjoying this ride. If not, what is the point? And I'm spending a lot of time building this thing. I'm spending it to show my kids what hard work looks like. I'm building it because I think it's an amazing company. And I got to enjoy the ride along the way, or else I'm going to look back and say, what was that all for? So that's another huge lesson I've learned, and I'm still trying to get better at. But we work really smart here. We don't work crazy hours. We have so much fun. And I really am starting to enjoy the ride, which is pretty cool.
So cool to hear. And, you mentioned your, extreme optimism. I love it. You have like such a joyful energy about you. You've always consistently had it every time I've been in your presence. And I feel like it translates so beautifully to the products you are creating. So it doesn't surprise me that has become a pillar of your corporate culture at Addison Bay. You mentioned when you were stressed with COVID and all of that, like where did you find the joy in those times, and how did you lead everyone to where you are now? Because you guys are just flourishing now.
Yes. Well, we have so much further to go. I still have such a huge vision for the company, but yes, we've really done some cool things. I feel like the ways I've gotten through some of those lows or those tougher times, I surround myself with incredible people. Like I really do. I have, my husband's amazing. I actually need to give him a shout out because I feel like I've been talking about my kids the whole time, but my husband is really amazing. And he is the reason I was able to go for it and do this. I started the company. I didn't take a salary for 3 years like most entrepreneurs do. And he was so committed in it with me. He was like, okay, great. We're both committed. Let's do this. He has never, ever made me feel bad about, taking the leap, especially when things are a little bit lower. He's so steadfast, so confident. We've at times had to use our own bank account to pay some factory payments and some payroll, and just with how cash flow goes. And he is so confident and never ever makes me feel bad about I'm like, oh gosh, this is such a hard moment. And he's so steadfast and so confident. Being surrounded by someone like that, like it helps a ton. So he is incredible. And then also my second oldest brother is an entrepreneur, and he is he's a very successful entrepreneur. He just sold his second company. So I surround myself with him. He always says I call him when Rome is burning, but I never call him when the things are good. So thankfully I haven't called him in a little bit, which is good. Only called him for personal reasons, not Rome is burning. But he's awesome too. And he also flexes that optimistic muscle, and he's such a go-getter, and it's so inspiring to be around him. So I really like to surround myself with really good people. And then again, I'm going to say it again, I put on the blinders. I focus on myself. I focus on what we're doing. I focus on our vision. I wrote the core values for the company in 2018. Not one word has changed since 2018. I read our core values. I look around the amazing people I get to work with every day. I'm obsessed with my team, and I'm just like, wow, like I can do this. So it's such like a blinders focus, surround yourself with good people kind of mixture, and it's worked for me. And I think it will continue to work. It really like helps me through some of those really rocky, rough patches.
You're giving so many good tangible takeaways. So I have to thank you for that, because I think, the blinders is so important. But as you said, like finding a partner that is going to be so steadfast and your rock throughout this journey, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, like choosing the right partner is so important. And it sounds like you have that in Mark, and I feel like I have that in Matt. It took me a little bit longer to find him, but it was so worth the wait because I feel the same way about him. And I do really think it changes how you are able to like get up and keep going when you have that in your life. So I think it's such a good reminder, especially to any single ladies out there, that that person is out there for you, and don't settle because you deserve that kind of dynamic in a relationship, truly.
Totally agree.
You'd mentioned that you have so much further to go. You have big dreams and visions. You know, you've done a maternity line, you've done these fabulous Addison Bay original lines and golf lines, amazing collabs. What is next? Like, what are some big dreams of yours, and what can we maybe have a teaser for or look forward to from Addison Bay?
Oh my gosh. I mean, yes, I see this company becoming $1 billion company. So I think there's definitely some top line growth in the future. I really just see it such a huge vision there. I want to open more stores. I want to grow my incredible team. I feel like there's so many fun things I want to do. We want to get our product in Nordstrom, Shopbop, and we're on our way to make some of those moves there. I think there's a lot of exciting moves happening. The I have such big vision, but at the end of the day, I know it's not going to happen overnight, and it hasn't happened overnight. It's really been little by little, and I always just think like we got to win as a team. We got to keep this team together, grow our team little by little, and stay optimistic and positive. And that's kind of like our secret sauce along the way. Like we're really just hardworking. We have a good reputation. I have amazing people in there. We have amazing product that we've worked our butts off to perfect. Like we really are just doing things the right way, kind of like the old school hardworking way. And yeah, I see such big vision for this company. I can't wait to see where it goes, and I can't wait for Annie to take over someday when she wants to be CEO. That would be an ultimate dream for me.
Well, I love that. I'm there for it. Annie for CEO, Annie for president. I mean,
There you
I
go.
love following your little girl.
Listen, I tell her she can do whatever she wants in this world. Great. First female president, let's go.
We're in. We're in. I'll be your campaign manager. I have to imagine you have felt the heat that I hear about for female founders. Like, have you found some unique roadblocks as a female founder when it comes to raising capital or any of those things? Like, what has your experience been like?
Yes, I mean, definitely all the things that you hear out there, I've experienced. I've also, like, on the flip side, again, this is me being very optimistic, but on the flip side, I feel like I've also had the best support being a female founder. I think people are so jazzed to see a female founder doing, a multi-million dollar company and growing a company in the way that we have. And I think people are excited about that growth. I Other female founders or other female executives have helped me so much along the way. I truly am so grateful. And men, like I actually have had so many people help that are excited about the company, excited about the growth, and excited about my passion behind the company. So again, maybe I'm being a little optimistic. I've seen it all out there for sure. But I optimistically really think so many people have helped me along the way, and I'm so grateful for that. And looking in the future, like that's exactly what I do want to do when ideally we sell this company. I want to be able to invest in female founded companies. I want to be able to help other women. I want to be able to be on advisory boards. That is my goal for the future. Once I'm, out of here, old and gray, and they don't want me around here anymore, I would love to help other females out in the industry. So I think that would be super cool. And that's, I have so many people have helped me out along the way. I definitely want to pay it forward. And so again, it's more of an optimistic way to look at it, but I really have, I felt like a lot of people have given me their time and energy along the way. And I'm so grateful.
I love to hear that. And I think there are people that are ready and willing and receptive to female founders. And I think that perspective shift has probably brought, whether we want to call it manifestation or whatever you want to call it, you're inviting that good energy by looking at it as a positive instead of the negative connotation that it can have being a female founder and all the things that come with that. So I think, just hearing you talk about how you actively shift perspective is really powerful and a good lesson for all of us to learn that that's actually how you can just, because and you've also acknowledged this has been, one foot in front of the other. It's not like you took leaps and skipped steps. This has been a lot of hard work, right?
Yeah, and also like if someone's not willing to help along the way, whether, it's a investor or a private equity group or any other male executive, then like fine, so be it, all good, like moving on. Like some people are
Totally.
just like that, and like people have helped me out along the way. I am eventually going to pay it forward. And I already do, by the way. Like when I have a high schooler, a college kid reach out, hey, I'd love 30 minutes of your time. I'd love to ask you about how, great, what time do you want to meet next week? Like I'm in. I want to talk to everyone and help them or just get them excited about whatever they want to do in their future, because again, so many people took those 30 minutes out of their crazy busy schedules to meet with me, and looking back I'm like, wow, that person, like that was incredible. And so I definitely want to pay it forward.
Surprise me at all knowing you and your heart, that you would be paying it forward already. Not shocked and always impressed by you. Let's talk about your brick and mortar stores, because I have to imagine that was a little bit of a shift from what you were already doing, and you've opened two stores in most sought after locations in our hometown. We're both from Philadelphia, for those listening, because I don't think we've acknowledged that yet. And you have opened Addison Bay brick and mortar stores in Suburban Square and Avalon. Can you talk about what that process was like and how maybe you had to shift gears to tackle that?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love our stores so much. They are transparently definitely a smaller piece of the pie. So I say that because our online business is really growing very, very quickly, and it's really exciting. But the stores are so important. We're an omni-channel business. We have wholesale, we're online, and we have two stores. And I think kind of having that, 360 experience is so important. So if she, sees an ad on Instagram and then sees an influencer post this, and then she's walking up Coulter Ave in Suburban Square and she's like, wait, I see Addison Bay. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go in. And it's kind of another touch point for the consumer to get her in the door. It's definitely a new customer acquisition tool. So customers that are a little more nervous to shop online, pull the trigger, she goes in, she can touch and feel and try on and get so jazzed about the product. Our average order values are so much higher in store because she can tell the quality of the product is so good, and she doesn't buy one of something, she buys eight. Like she really gets excited about the brand and the company and the product. So we love our stores so much. They are awesome. I'm not trying to open 20 stores tomorrow. I think they're a huge lift, and they're hard to staff. They're hard to keep going. But I am interested in opening stores in the right zip codes. And we have some fun ones in mind that are actually outside of the Philly area. So it'll be interesting to see how that grows, and just to chase the consumer that we're already seeing come online and see how we can grow that.
That is very exciting to hear. I'm excited to find out one day what those locations are. You mentioned paying it forward. I'd love to hear your advice for, think back to 2018 and when you were wanting to make this leap. What advice you would tell yourself now for those younger women and men out there that have an idea and they want to pursue it?
Yeah, no, I think, oh my gosh, looking back to that person that I was 6 years ago, holy smokes, so much has changed. I think looking back at that time, I was very naive to what the entrepreneurial life entails. And by the way, I'm so glad I was. I'm not sure I would have ever done it had I known what some of these lows would look like. But I'm so darn glad I did. And I think I would just tell her that, to, like I've said this a couple times, but like believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in your vision. And like when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, just know that you believe in yourself and what the company is doing, and everything else will sort out. Like I really do. It sounds so corny. I really do. I know I can get this done. Like I know I am such a hard worker. I have the best team at work. I have the best team at home. I have an amazing family that's loving and supporting me. And so I know I can do this. It has helped me through some of those really low moments, those rocky patches that we talked about. And I would just tell her, believe in yourself, believe in your vision, like be so adamantly like strong about it, because those low moments have been tough, but when I say that to myself at the end of the day, again, I like actually say that to myself. I'm like, you believe in yourself, you're good, you got this, you got like little pep talks. And it's really helped along the way. Again, I know it sounds corny, but it's worked for me, and I love this company, and I love growing it. It's really fun.
It doesn't sound corny. It actually sounds like everything that like medical doctors like. I don't know if you follow Doc Amen on Instagram, but he talks about like stopping a negative thought pattern in its tracks and how
Oh,
that
I love
actually
that.
affects how you live your day and then therefore affecting what happens in your day and what you see happening in your future. So it doesn't surprise me that that's the way that you operate and think about life.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's such a good way to put it. Probably more eloquently than I put it, but same message.
Same message. I feel like you gave us so many, I said this already, but you did just give us so many tangible takeaways in this episode. So I just want to thank you for your time because I know you are so busy with your 4 little ones, and really you have 5 little ones because you've got Addison Bay.
Exactly. 5
So
kids.
thank you so much for joining me. I'm just so thrilled that you came on A Deeper Look and we got to hear your story.
Thank you so much, Julia. This was so fun, and I let's do it again. I can't wait.
Let's do it. Thanks. If you are loving these conversations, please share with a friend or 5 and leave me a review because I would love to hear your feedback. And if you have an idea for a future guest, head on over to our Instagram @DeeperLookPod and comment who you'd like to get to know on a deeper level. New episodes drop every Wednesday. I'll see you next week on A Deeper Look. Hi, it's Julia Ray, and this is A Deeper Look. I believe the most important stories are the ones deep within us. The stories that make us feel alone, yet connect us when we're brave enough to tell them. Tune in every Wednesday to dive into the deep end together.